Today's episode is brought to you by Pioneer Elite Healthcare. If you're looking to change your clients, if you're looking to get new workers, if you're looking for a change in your employment, please look at the number right here I'm pointing at. Reach out to Ms. Desiree or her staff. Figure out what you're going to do. I think Pioneer is a good company for you. Check them out. How we doing today, folks? Welcome to Just Conversations, no interviews. Today we have the lovely Desiree Bond here, Pioneer Elite Care. We're going to talk to her about what it is to being independent in this business, her trials and tribulations, and what was it like for her to set up her company. Also, we have her staff here today. We're going to get into this conversation. How we doing today, Desiree?
Great, thank you for having us.
Introduce yourself. How you doing, young lady?
Hi, I'm Cassandra, office manager.
Cassandra, office manager.
Hi, I'm Shay, and I'm all around whatever needs to be done.
She's the Swiss Army knife. She's Shay the Swiss Army knife. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm happy that you guys can make it here today.
Thank
Very
you.
happy. Actually, we wanted to do this interview last year in season 2, but the schedules couldn't meet up, and finally we did make it. So I'm happy. I'll tell the viewers, it's hot as hell in here today. I gotta tell y'all, it's fucking blazing. But we're gonna fight through this, and we're gonna get this interview done right for y'all today. So, Desiree, let's go on your journey of how you got into this industry. Before that, I want to know like your early childhood. From Philadelphia,
Yes, born and raised West Philadelphia.
West Philadelphia. What schools did you go to in the city?
Elementary, I went to Belmont, that was down the bottom. From there, I went to Charles Drew, that was University City. And for high school, I went to vocational school at Rabbi, and I took up nursing.
Oh, okay. And the school system educated you to the point you were able to go to college?
Yeah, for the most part, it did what it's supposed to do. I was able to go to college. I applied for nursing initially, and I didn't get into any of my schools.
Oh, God. It happens. It happens.
To be honest,
Yeah, that's cool.
Mansfield was the first school to say if you come in as undeclared, we'll take you. I reapplied for schools again, and I got into the second set of schools as going in as undeclared, but I wound up going to Mansfield University.
Okay. That's a good starting up. So, Pioneer Elite Care. How long have you been in business?
Pioneer League Care been in business since 2017.
2017. Okay. And starting this, how stringent was it? Was it a lot of paperwork, a lot of running around?
Initially, it was very difficult. I worked in the field. My husband didn't. My husband was always in corporate America, so he was only able to help me to a certain extent because this wasn't his background.
Okay.
We came across somebody that we worked with, and we started doing meetings with her and different things like this, and she started teaching us the background of the business as far as the paperwork and everything like that.
Okay. So if somebody saw, sometimes in life we see people and be like, if they do it, I can do it. I know it's easy because that such and such did it. Dad, she couldn't even get in a nursing program. I know I could do it if I had to do it. If she could do it, I could do it. How you feel about people who think things are easy?
People always think that until they walk in your shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Once they walk in your shoes and they see it's not what it's cracked up to be. Home care is a booming industry.
Yes.
It's at a point to where as though like daycares, you looking at 3 on every corner.
Yes.
But once again, you got to put the hard work into it. You have to do things to stand out, and you have to make your name known because if not, you'll get swallowed up in the business.
Okay. So you guys work with Desiree, right?
Yes.
Do y'all have a background in this business before she had her business?
No.
No.
I do,
Okay.
but also because of her.
Okay.
Yeah, so my background is typically in like childcare, early child development.
Mm-hmm.
And a few years back, like over 8 years ago, it had to be, where she was trying to pull me in to a company that she was actually working for.
Okay.
And I kept like pitting it off, like, no, I don't want to do it. And she's very persistent. So at some point I was like, okay, I was looking for a change.
Okay.
So she brought me on, and she was my supervisor. So I worked directly under her, and she kind of showed me the ropes. Then once she decided to do Pioneer,
Mm-hmm.
She went to move on to other things. So my background in this field is due to her.
Okay. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
far as me,
Yes.
I was working for the government, Women, Infant, and Children, which is WIC.
Okay.
So before I came on, I used to do little stuff for her.
Hold on. Folks, that's a fact. I never knew that. Woman, infant, and children is good. I never knew that shit. I just knew people had the white cards at the market and just come up. I was like, they got that damn whip. I had no idea that's what. No, I'm serious. I'm not trying to be funny. I never knew that's what it stood for. But go ahead. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
It's fine. I worked there for 12 years,
Oh wow.
and I did side paperwork for her because she
Mhm.
knew I was good at doing paperwork on the
Okay.
weekends. And
You
then
definitely need that type of person.
one year we just people was moving on,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like tired of where I was at because of other things.
Yes.
And we gave it a 30-day trial run, and I'm here since
Okay.
2019.
Oh, that's good. What time in 2019?
I say beginning of November into October.
Okay, so that's almost the beginning of one of the biggest events in all of our lifetime, going into 2020.
Yeah.
You know, once 2020 hit, here comes COVID, boom.
Yeah.
So I always ask entrepreneurs, like, how did you pivot with COVID? Like, how did your company survive during COVID? Because a lot of people lost their companies during COVID.
COVID was difficult for us. With Pioneer League Care, we do two different entities. We do ODP, which is intellectual disability,
Okay.
and we do OOTL, which is physical disability.
Okay.
The great thing about our business is that you can work with your mother, father, brother, sister. You have the right to choose your worker.
Okay.
The issue came if you was to come into the business to where as though you didn't have a worker. And when that happened, Cassandra and myself, we was working on cases. We was tag teaming them.
Okay.
I ain't had a problem.
Shay is more so the paper person. She's not going into anybody's home, but that's fine because she keeps things in order. If the state was to come in while we're working in cases,
Okay.
she's able to
So
keep
working in
that.
cases mean you're actually going
We
out with the
actually
clients.
going into the
Because
home.
nobody else couldn't get
Oh, so
Right.
you had to
So we was physically
roll your
working.
sleeves up and get dirty.
We was physically working in cases and we was tag teaming them. We
Okay.
had a 24-hour case to where as though I would do 12 hours leave, she would do 12 hours and come back. So yeah,
We was out the office for some months
Okay.
they're
doing
working.
it.
Now how did you feel about that? Because I know you got the mask on and stuff the whole time. Or
For me, it was a little different because it's my business. So
okay. So it's sink or swim. I'm all the way in.
you got to do what you got to do.
for a
I
penny and
feel
for a
like
pound.
we sacrificed a lot for the business initially when we got started. I've been married this year, be 16 years. My husband had to do the payroll financially. So on top of me not working because I had to leave my job
Hold
because,
on. That's a bar. So your husband did the payroll?
well, my husband did,
your husband's loaded.
he did the payroll.
Okay.
He had to, when we had the clients initially when we got started, because the government, even though it's government funded,
So
you don't
waiting
get
period.
paid until a month or so later.
Remember that, folks. That's a month worth of money you need to have. So have that
Right,
money.
right.
Don't think you just getting in here and you getting the money for the contract as soon as you come in. You got to put the work in and then get paid.
Yeah, so with that being said, when we brought people on board and you come and say, I wanna come over to Pioneer League Care, my husband had to maintain our household. I was pregnant, I had my baby in June.
Jesus.
And on top of that, we started a new business. So with us starting a new business, he still had to maintain our payroll. And
Okay.
that was really tough for us. Like initially, when the first check started coming in,
It's like it's never enough.
it never was enough. Even if the
Yeah.
checks came in at, I don't know, 35, I would take the $35 for myself just to do whatever I had to do.
Yep.
And that went back to do whatever we had to do
Disperse and
for the
replenish
business.
the
So,
funds.
so it was difficult.
Okay.
But more so, I guess, for Cassandra, I'm always appreciative to my staff because it's not their business.
Yes.
So I don't expect them to do what I would do. But in that time, she was right there with me. You don't gotta go in, it's Thanksgiving, I work Thanksgiving. I said, no, it's fine. You can go be with your family.
Okay.
I work Thanksgiving because, we were sacrificing. That day I did 24 hours.
Whoa. Say that you might get in trouble. You can't do 24 hours.
You only could do 16 hours.
Yeah, you did
You only
16.
you only could do 16 hours, but in that day, we had
Yeah.
to do what we had to do.
Yeah, you got to pivot. So at least you have a strong structure, and I like how you did that for it. It's funny because in our community, mainly African Americans, we want to know what's in it for us, and if we're not getting nothing, we're like, shit, I ain't doing that. That's not my problem. And it's funny because in the Asian community, You know, I remember, because I've done business with all types of communities, and one time I went to the Asian guy, like, hey, listen, man, I can get it done, I can get it for you cheaper. And he was like, you know, it's not about, it's not about it's not about what you can get for me cheaper. It's about me spending money with my people, so my people won't always be in a bad situation. Sometimes with us, we take cheaper over looking out for our people. And then sometimes the people we look out for wind up being challenge individuals, and we really don't get a
Yes.
return on our investments. So I'm happy that at least you're able to get a good return on, I would say friendship and business, which is kind of, messy. Sometimes people like don't mix the two. But I'm glad to see these people. This can happen. This can happen.
Well,
Right.
well, it made me look at life a little bit different. Like I
Okay.
started liking it because I never was in it. So being hands on, it was a little bit different. I bonded with the lady that I was working with.
Okay,
I
the
felt like I
clients.
had to be there.
Okay.
I
Okay.
had to be there. Like when she called, I go.
So
If it was the middle of the night, I go.
okay.
It don't matter. And whether or not I got paid for it or not, I still would have done it.
Okay. So at this juncture now, you're going into your, I guess, 5th year, right? You're in your
Yes.
5th year now. What has been the biggest obstacle for your company?
I guess staffing and getting clients.
Okay.
Once you get into the field, you realize everybody is tied to somebody in some certain way.
Okay.
And it's
So
funny
it's
because
real messy. It's like
it's-
everybody messing with everybody.
everybody's messing with everybody, but it's funny because I was a supports coordinator prior to coming starting my own business.
Okay.
And I get it that I had my people my go-to people that I would, give clients to, but I never thought that it would be as hard as it was either.
Okay.
So it was one of them type of things. I didn't have no expectations. You tell somebody like, hey, I'm starting a business, and they like, oh, I'm gonna switch over, and you make that phone call. We started, we up and running. Like, oh, well, I've been here for so long, I'm gonna stay where I'm
Yeah.
at. So I have no expectations, but only for the people in my household. And once I was able to adapt that mindset, I believe we became successful within a whole.
Okay.
Because I was disappointed and I was frustrated, and it became a thing like, I don't want to deal with this person, but
So
business
you
is
become
business.
toxic. It was making you get toxic.
It was. So I had to step back and look at myself and say, I can't put them expectations on no one, because you have the right to choose where you want to
Don't
be.
nobody owe you.
And if you're comfortable with where you at, I have to accept that and move on. But now that it's been 5 years, I'm building my relationships. I have my go-to people that, I get the same phone calls that I guess the other companies would get to say, oh, I got a new client, you the first one to think about. And the great thing about us, we don't have a high turnover rate either.
Okay.
Most people
People, when
that
they
come
come there, they
with
stay.
us, they stay with us.
Okay.
They really like us because we go by the golden rule, and we treat people how we want to be treated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Okay.
So as long as we follow that mindset, we're winning.
So it is elite care. The name
Yeah.
the name is what you get. You
Absolutely.
get elite care. What you got.
Absolutely.
We treat them like family. They call us all night. And
Yeah.
Much like family.
Yeah. Like I got to the point now. I'm like, Des, I gotta have a cutoff point where they don't call me like at
Okay.
at a certain time, but I'm still gonna answer,
Yeah.
regardless, because you never know
Yeah.
if a dire emergency or something like
Well, Shay was the same way initially. What I had to tell you about the boundaries was set, and because we do treat them like family, but then it becomes overwhelming because
Yeah.
literally they would call you 12 o'clock at night and say, hey, I was thinking, I tried to log into the system 5 o'clock and I couldn't get in. What should I
This
do?
is the client or
The
the workers?
client, the worker,
Okay.
whoever.
Everybody. Okay.
I'm just checking, are you still coming out tomorrow? So we had to set them boundaries, but the people that's with us, they with us. We really don't have a high turnover rate at all. And I had people follow me from meeting when I was a supports coordinator, or just from being out in the field, that they've realized like, oh, Desiree, you got your own company, I'm going to come over, and they are here.
Okay. So on an average work week, how many hours a week do you work? Because I heard you say 16s, 10s, 12s. So how many? What's the average work week for you? And what's the average work week from 2017, and then what's the average work week now in 2022?
I believe we at the same point. We probably at
Same
least
amount of hours.
120 hours a week, if more. Like, you know what I mean? Because we grinding.
that. I think in 2020 we did more.
We probably did.
Yeah, COVID. Yeah, I can
Now since
imagine.
everything is back in order, we back to like normal a little bit.
Okay. So normal is 82, 112, 120.
I think it's always overtime.
Okay.
I mean, not, and when I say overtime, not necessarily overtime.
More than 40 hours.
Paycheck.
Yeah, but just more than
overtime.
40 hours.
This is just about a 24-hour
Job.
It is.
Mhm.
You know, some unexpected, some expected. It's a constant. You know, there are times when you get a breather. You're like, okay,
It's too
time.
quiet.
Yeah, like what's about to happen? You know.
Check on so-and-so.
Yeah.
She hasn't called and said anything.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's a good thing. So you are a mother, as you say, right?
Mother three.
Mother of three. So in 2017, you had a new kid. How do you balance, being an entrepreneur, having a family? Like, what is, and you're saying you're working like almost, 12 hours, 16 hours a day. Like, so what does the average day in Desiree's life consist of?
Actually.
Well, that's a two-part
I
question.
have-
First, how do you juggle with the kids, and then what is the average day?
I have a great support system. I was telling one of my workers, well, more not my workers, I was telling the kids because one of the workers was like, "Oh, I went off for the holiday," and I'm like, "The holiday?" I'm like, "Do you know when y'all was little, we had one car, and I would go to work from 7 to 3, and my husband worked in corporate America. I'm about to get emotional. We only had one car." And because we only had one car, it's certain things that you had to do. So he would take the car, I would get on the bus, go to work. He would come pick us up. I would go back to work 8 o'clock at night, which he would drop me off at work 8 o'clock at night, stay home with the kids, get the kids dressed, pick me up to go to the next job. It's all about sacrificing. So to know where we at today, I thank God for that.
Well, y'all put the work in too. Y'all
That's
put
what I
the
was
work
gonna
in.
say,
Y'all put
that
the work in, because I know sometimes people see, they'll see things that you acquired in your life. They'll see, certain things you may have and say, well, I should have that. I should have that. And this person lays on the bed all day on their ass watching Instagram or chasing some fool around all day. Whatever they're doing, they're not putting in those 16 hours, 12-hour days, and then doing 16, 12-hour days and not getting paid.
Right.
But that's a whole different story.
Right.
I can tell that you're a serious businesswoman. When you came here today, because I was irritated from the time I came in here today, because this is not usually how the type of office we rent to
Right.
use, right? So when we come in, I'm looking at the floor, I'm looking at everything, I'm like, shit. I'm like, I got women coming in here today. They're gonna see this, and they're gonna be like, why you bring me to this? And it's not, it's not a representation of me.
Right.
It's just what happened. So I see you getting emotional over there, and I know what it's like when you running companies and you putting everything in, and then you got people supporting you, and then you got the people who you think supposed to support you, your
they
friends or
don't.
your family, and it's like it's not the effort that you were expecting. So it leaves you, it leaves you kind of feeling empty, but you make it through it, and when you make it through it, when that makes the champagne taste better, that makes the vacations feel better because you actually put the work in.
Yeah.
That guess what? I earned this shit. And if I lost this shit and had to do something else, I could do it because I know the blueprint.
Right.
I made this map and I followed it. So every hill, everything, every time I fell 6 feet and had to come back up, I did it. So I know what to do. I can identify with the problems,
Right.
not when they come, as they're coming. So that's the beauty of doing it and not having things handed to you. So I commend you. I commend you ladies for helping me too. Seriously, because it's very hard to have a support system. Like, you lucky to get, two people.
I keep my people close and small. And she can tell you loyalty is the most important thing. I don't care about nothing else. If I feel as though that you're not loyal to what we got going on, I'm fine stepping away from that because I need to be able to trust that I can trust you because this is my baby. This is how we feed our family.
Yes.
This is how you feed your family. So I need to know we take care of people, our neighbors out there. If I go on vacation, I need to feel comfortable that if emergency happen, that you can step in as if it's your company and you know what to do. So I think that's why we're so successful because of the people, and I have a great support system around us. And on top of that, I have my parents. I have my husband's parents. So we're blessed. We have more than what most people have.
So Pioneer Elite is like your blue magic.
Absolutely.
You put your name on it. You ain't playing no games. Like,
Absolutely.
don't play with me. Don't play with my name. Don't play with my brand because
Right.
I had to put the work in for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's very. So your position, because you know, you're an African American woman, you're in a business, it's probably male dominated, you know, I'm not sure, I don't know the statistics. Is it always like a fight for anything you're trying to do? But at this point in your life, you got to the point where it's like things are a little bit smoother as far as, just getting clients, maintaining relationships with clients, getting,
It's always going to be a fight, but my motto is a little different than most companies. If a person wants to leave us, I don't push back on that because I know what my brand and I know what we gave them.
Mhm.
So if they walk out the door, my mindset is they want to be back, and 9 times out of 10 they call back and say, I made a mistake, whatever the case was. I want
do
to
you
come
let them come
back.
back?
Yeah, well, it depends.
So some people, you glad that they got, they
Yeah.
addicted
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah. Nothing is never personal, but it have to make sense. The whole point to having your own business is to make sense. So we working harder. That doesn't make sense. And sometimes a client may come over, we might not fit into their brand
Yeah.
until what they got
Yeah.
going on. So we have to realize that too. So if I keep getting phone calls, now it's time for me to sit down with the staff and say, Miss So and so done called here 5 times and they said that they reached out to you and we didn't do X, Y, and Z. What is going on? So then we got to sit and dissect where I called, nobody answered, I showed up, but I did do this. So maybe it's us or maybe it's them, but we willing to fall on our sword one way or the other to figure out what the problem is.
Do you have any regrets in this business at this time, after 5 years? Nothing,
No.
nothing too crazy, but sometimes you think you may have done something, or you probably like, I probably could have handled that better. Nothing. You stand on it at this point.
No, because I feel like I'm grounded in a sense. I'm never nasty or disrespectful. I'm not going to go back and forth, which is my business. There's no need to go back and forth. If a person call and they don't like what we're doing, I'm comfortable with saying like, I apologize for that, but if you want to move on, we accept it. So for the most part, I really don't have too many regrets about the business.
Okay. That's a good one. This conversation is going pretty good. I'm loving it. So, about 2 weeks ago, Supreme Court been making a lot of new rulings and stuff. You ladies are all working women. How do you feel about the new decision on Roe versus Wade?
For me, what I've actually come to learn about Roe versus Wade, normally you hear that people associate it with just abortion.
Mhm.
But what I've come to know is that it's deeper than just abortion. So abortion is one of the things that fall under Roe versus Wade,
But it's not
but
the whole
it's
thing.
really about medical privacy. So although, I know you probably posed the question to us, because like you said, we're women and people probably say about abortion, but I think that it really should be something that we're all concerned about,
Okay.
because in the event that our medical privacy is no longer private, I feel like the government can then now come in and tell us what we can. This is just
So
something else they can use to tell us what we can and can't do.
So what you're saying is Roe versus Wade is like tied into the HIPAA Act, because the HIPAA Act is your privacy whenever you go for it.
Sort of.
Okay.
It's different,
It's different, but it's like,
but it would affect it.
okay.
And to where now we have COVID, and then you have the choice of being vaccinated or not vaccinated.
Yes.
And what I learned is that with Biden trying to pass whatever bill or law it was to make it to enforce, I guess,
Okay.
the vaccine on everyone, it got thrown out because of Roe versus Wade. So
So if they come back again,
exactly,
they'll be able to go
they
through
can
it.
enforce it. They can say, oh, everybody has to be vaccinated. Oh, you were getting this chemotherapy treatment, we decided that you can no longer get it. And now your medical things that would have been private, let's say if it's an investigation or the police or
Yeah.
whatever situation.
Now it's public information. Well, they have access to
Exactly.
that information.
Exactly.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
it's really bigger than just the abortion. And I
Okay.
think the abortion is just a distraction.
So
Because people are
everybody
also
excited.
pro-life, and that's fine. But it's not just about
Oh,
abortion.
wow. I learned something new today. See that, folks? I just learned something new. I had no idea about that. I didn't even think you would go there with it. just hit me with something on that one. So.
She's the researcher, that's why we here.
Oh yeah, I see.
I
I see.
keep things in
I see.
order.
I see. I
All
see.
play
Yeah.
our part in what we
Yeah.
do, and that's why.
No. That's definitely a good.
And you
Thing.
know, just to add another thing, there may be an instance where they want to start looking into overturning other stuff.
Now, that's the part that's kind of scary because I saw the guy I want to say from Tennessee or Texas, one of those senators. He said, next we'll do Brown, which is education.
Yeah.
And then the other one was education. I forgot what I think the other one maybe been voting. I'm not sure, but it was education definitely because I remember the Brown, and it was one more. And he was like adamant, like, well, we got that one. Now we're going for the next two.
It's terrible.
Yeah, and that's getting on murky waters at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the Supreme Court, it's not really a good representation of us. And the
Mm-hmm.
person that does represent us ain't for us from some of the decisions I've seen this guy make. So it's very interesting, very very interesting. Oh man, that done gave me a heartache right now. So with Pioneer, in the next 10 years, where you want to see your company evolve to?
A household name.
Yeah.
That's what, man.
A household name. I definitely feel as though that we got the tools and the mechanics to get there. People just gotta step out and give us a chance.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely
Is
a
this
household
something you
name.
look to hand down to the kids, or this is something?
Absolutely. I think the problem is with our kids in this generation, they want to make their own way.
Yeah. Don't go up the easy road I just laid out for you.
Yeah, but
They wanna
trust
do,
me,
they want to go
the
10x
other
harder.
side is nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
That's what they do, and
Uh-huh.
and that's what we try to explain to them. My kids come from a household that had two parents in it.
Mhm.
Both parents went to college. We met in college. We graduated. We did it in 4 years. I had the same expectations for them as well. And with them going to college is to get the degree and learn more about our business. But if we got $1 million company that afforded a lifestyle for them,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you take it over
When you
when
come
we
over
get
in
to that
10x,
point?
yeah.
And the good thing about that is hopefully they do, and they can put a new flavor to it because with young kids and young generation,
They see it different.
they see it different.
Yeah. No, that's I fight. I fight with the young people in my family all the time. We started these businesses, and now we started getting our latter years, and that energy that you had to start it, well, it starts dying down after a while, and sooner or later you want one of them to grab the baton and actually run with it because they have the stronger legs, and they can go further, So I struggle with that too. Most successful people I know struggle with that. It's not like we like the Rothschilds or or the DuPonts. Their systems were so strong that they were able, but we're trying to make that.
Exactly.
The difference is they started in 1800. We're starting in the 2000s.
Yeah.
But it's a very complex issue. I wish I could choke every kid I know and say, just listen to your parent. But,
Yeah.
Right.
but again, they do want, some of them do want to do their own thing, and who knows? It's a slippery slope.
Right.
It's a slippery slope. That's very good. This is a damn good interview. I'm so happy that y'all are able to steer this along with me, and I don't gotta fight with y'all to pull shit out. And that usually come from the people I'm talking to. They really have done what they're talking about. So you're not trying to hide. You're not trying to keep nothing because what you're saying is just the truth. And when you're
Right. talking
the truth, it comes out effortlessly. So I definitely want to thank y'all for that. This is a
Thank
great
you for
interview.
having us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. And I thank y'all for coming in, and even though it didn't meet my expectations of where we were coming, you guys, you didn't say, "Oh, I'm leaving. Get my attorney on the phone." There's no way I'm coming in here for this.
Right.
Quick question though before we end it up though. It's like I always ask the people out here, what do you do for amusement, enjoyment time? Because you can't work 24 hours all year long.
Right. She got her
as-
eye in me.
Yeah.
I
made-
enjoy myself
yeah.
very well.
So, so what do you do for enjoyment? How do you? Because one thing about working hard, people say play hard. I mean, you got to do something though. Because if you don't release that steam, you're gonna be one angry person. So how do you relax? Like how do you?
For me, it's about family.
Mhm.
We take a lot of family vacations together.
Mhm.
And as the kids is getting older, the vacations are getting better.
Okay.
They can do more with us. We can plan things out.
Mhm.
And I try to set aside vacations where it's just my husband and I.
Mhm.
He's more so a little different. Like, let the kids come. Like, why? Like,
Fuck them kids.
So I do that, and then with the staff, I do a lot of appreciation days.
Okay.
That they may come into the office, and I might have a gift for
So
them.
you keep the
Absolutely,
morale
might
going.
go to a nice restaurant,
Okay.
something laid back, something so everybody can just enjoy themselves. Because with all this hard work, I don't do it by myself.
Yes.
So if I don't let the people know that's closest to me, that I appreciate them, they're not going to be here in 10 years. So that we
They
all
might not
can
be here.
retire.
They might not be here in 10 days.
Exactly, you know.
And what?
But we take a lot of vacations, family vacations.
And what about you? How do you?
Same me, my, for the most part, when, my days is playing out.
Okay.
I get off work, my daughter cheerleader, my son play football.
Okay.
We there from 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock go home. But for the most part, we go on trips throughout the year too.
Okay. And what about you?
So for me, I'm learning.
Learn how to vacation?
I am learning. She's forcing me to, take time for myself, which is
She's
important.
total opposite, yeah.
Yeah, my enjoyment, I surround myself with my kids,
Okay.
which,
She take them everywhere with her.
I'm learning that I also
Fuck them
need
kids.
that time outside of them.
Mhm.
So she's a really good motivator. She really, really is. So yeah, she's like pushing me like, Cheryl, like, even with my birthday coming up, she's like, what are you gonna do? Like,
I'm a plan it.
Well, something I'll tell you, I learned the hard way. I've been an entrepreneur probably since I was probably 12 years old, so I always had some type of businesses going on. I never went on vacation. I've paid for women to go on vacation across the water, everything. I did all the stuff that guys do when they got money, right? I got extremely sick and almost died, so I got the scar on top of my head. And when I came through and I couldn't even walk, I'm sitting in the bed and I'm watching a commercial, I see blue water, and I'm thinking to myself, all that money you made, you never even seen blue water. So think about this. Here's a guy that made, you made millions of dollars. You don't have the $1 million because you just got sick. So not only you just lost the stuff that you had, you never even took advantage of your opportunity to go live. You lived to work, and that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad. It's one thing to be in a project and putting your all into it and going for the gusto, but you should never want to die working. That's a sad life, especially if you don't have to. So I would suggest that, yes, even if it's just a damn spa day, treat yourself.
Yeah.
Treat yourself,
Yeah.
because you never know. I have no pictures of me at all without a scar on my head. You know what I'm saying? Because I never took pictures. So I have no pictures of me with a scar on my head. I've never seen blue water in my 20s. I couldn't even tell you what it was like. I think my first vacation, my first stamp on my passport I got in 2020 during COVID. So that's to tell you. So yes, don't be too obsessed with work. Now mind you, I've traveled all around this country. I've been a lot of places, but it was always for business, something to do, never to just relax. And I didn't learn that till I was 32 years old, trying to learn how to walk and talk again. So take advantage of your health, take advantage of the good times. So don't get so caught up in work. Work hard. And I wouldn't say play hard, but play. So work hard, play, work hard. So always remember that. All right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming today.
Thank
I
you.
want to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And
We
again,
have something for you before it's
oh,
over.
no problem. No
Okay.
problem.
Another one. All of them. Another one.
That's for now.
And
I want to
another
thank the fine people of Pioneer Elite Care for giving me and my partners. This is the first time we ever got gifts. This is amazing. This is so amazing. It's Hennessy in here. I'm butt naked on Broad Street tonight, baby. It's me, baby. It's me. But no, I really want to thank y'all. That's so.
Yeah.
so wonderful.
I want you to open it because we have
Okay.
things in there. Just open up one of
One?
them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm opening up one.
Because we have things in there with our company logo on it as well. So
Okay, we got you, baby. We got you. Open this nice. I don't want to rip it up.
she'll rip it back up.
Yeah,
Or
I'll
just
I'll
like,
fix it.
yeah, she'll fix it.
Everybody's gonna be like, man, Reese, man, he can't even open up a joint. No, I'm retarded. You see the scar in my head? I can't do it. There you go. Shay, what you was like? You used to hang people from trees? This a Girl Scout now. What you doing in your life?
Yeah.
You tired of bricks or something? What's up with this?
I wish I was a good school.
I don't know. You got a lot going on with these knots. Look at this. It's a Bowen knot, folks. She got a Bowen knot on here. She got a whole knot name. All right. First thing, COVID coming back, fellas. Get that. You see that? Oh, yeah. It's the Pioneer brand. Stogies. Spark it up, baby. Stogie. Spark them both up. Nice shot glasses for the class.
That would melt it.
Oh shit. This is chocolate, folks. This shit looking like milk chocolate right now. This is how hot it is in here. I swear to God to you. And for them to sit here and do this wonderful interview with me, I am so happy, yo. This is amazing that we in here and we have chocolate warm milkshakes. And always. And when you get done, chase it with the water. I want to thank you. These are some beautiful baskets. We have never gotten nothing like this. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. Let's give it. Oh, the stoves.
But I was gonna say, we do things like this all the time. We do Thanksgiving baskets, we do
Okay.
Christmas baskets, and this what puts us apart from other agencies. We treat people how we wanna be treated. You
Okay.
welcome us into your home, and
Mhm.
you don't never go anywhere empty-handed. So we wanted to say thank you.
Oh wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. This is a great company. Pioneer Elite, folks. You already know what it is. We had information right here, right there, or right there. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Just conversations, no interviews. This is Sharif Hankins.